us are wet this morning. We are tracking how long these raindrops stick around and what that means for your commute.
And right now, the court's getting involved in Wisconsin's election investigation. What the state's attorney general has to say about it.
Good morning, everyone. We do that right in unison. Good morning, everyone.
We've decided to put together a musical for you this Monday morning.
Yeah, we need something to get us through because it's drizzly and wet out there, and we've got some more rain on the way. Just kind of gloomy, yucky looking morning out there. But hey, we can get through it. We've got 5 days left this week, so we got to get something going. So Chris Reese, hit us with the news, my bud.
Are you singing in the rain?
Oh,
is that what we're doing this morning?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of us will be. We are tracking those showers. This is a part of a big system. It's impacting a lot of folks, all the way from Madison throughout Buffalo, Vermont, all the way over to Boston, getting some rainfall associated with this. Then it storms from Toledo through Cincinnati, all the way down towards Louisville, Lexington, and Nashville as well. So big portions of the country all being impacted by one system, and that's what's bringing us the rainfall out there this morning. We've been tracking it for quite some time. Still some rain showing up throughout northwestern parts of Dane County, but I want to focus on Rock County this morning because this is where I've seen that heavier rainfall start to develop, working its way into parts of Walworth County, just towards the west of Elkhorn as well. Even some of those reds are starting to show up on the radar. So if you are driving east of Janesville especially, I really need to give yourself a little extra time as you head out, because this is the rain that comes down, and it's a wind-driven rain at that. But this is the rain that comes down that really starts to limit your visibility. It limits what you are able to see in terms of what's ahead of you. But then on top of that, you add water ponding, and the wind is blowing you around too. So the hydroplane risk is high in this area. So please, please, please give yourself some extra time as you head out that direction. Back in Madison, it is lighter rain and drizzle. We're tracking some additional showers trying to move in on the northwestern side of Dane County. That's going to work its way south and eastward. So Verona, Oregon, it's not really raining that hard right now. We'll see some other steadier showers work their way through before all is said and done. 45 right now. Still light rain at the airport. Wind sustained at 16 miles per hour out of the north and east. Generally, our temperatures are in the 40s throughout southern Wisconsin. Some cooler air back towards the north and west. That's where you have a couple of spots that are into the upper 30s. But I pushed this forward through time. 9 o'clock, most of that rainfall is out of here. Temperatures top out right around 50. Most of us are really going to be struggling, though, to get out of the 40s as we go throughout the day. And then your wind gusts today have been around 30 to 40 miles per hour as well. We're going to see those strongest wind gusts start to work their way out of the picture as we move into the afternoon. We'll clear out tonight. We're going to go down to 34, 55 for tomorrow. Most of our week is spent in the 50s, but we're already tracking another rain chance that arrives towards the middle of this week. We're going to break that down when we come back in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, Chris. You can track the rain yourself with the First Warn Weather app. Just search Channel 3000 Weather where you get your apps. Happening today, a Dane County judge will hear arguments after Attorney General Josh Kaul asked the court to intervene in the GOP-led review of the 2020 election.
Kaul is representing the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Here's what he told us this weekend.
Because the truth is, elections in Wisconsin were safe and secure, and the recent Legislative Audit Bureau investigation confirmed that. So we'll see what happens in the courts, and then based on what ruling we get, we'll proceed from there.
Special counsel Michael Gableman has not responded to AG Kaul's requests. Today's hearing will only involve subpoenas issued to the state's election commission, but it could impact mayors and local election officials around the state, including right here in Madison. We'll be tracking that hearing throughout the day. When we learn more, we'll push updates out through our mobile app. You can download it yourself. Just search Channel 3000 News in your app store.
New information this morning in the deadly movie set shooting in New Mexico. The crew member who gave Alec Baldwin the gun was the subject of several prior safety complaints. Prop makers say they raised concerns about Assistant Director Dave Hall's behavior on set back in 2019. Halls has not responded to the allegations. Baldwin fired the gun on Thursday, killing 42-year-old cinematographer Helena Hutchins.
Twitter is suspending an Indiana congressman's official account. The site removed Republican Jim Banks' tweet this week about a transgender Biden administration official. This week, Dr. Rachel Levine became the first openly transgender four-star officer in the U.S. Banks responded, tweeting that the title of first female 4-star officer gets taken by a man. Twitter says the tweet violated its community guidelines.
President Biden hoping that his massive economic and climate package gets passed this week. Biden hosted a breakfast meeting with Senate Democrat Joe Manchin and Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on Sunday. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Democrats are closing in on an agreement for Biden's spending bills. They have a deadline for passing it set for next Sunday.
Staff at Facebook being told this morning to brace for more bad headlines to come. This as tens of thousands of leaked documents from the company continue to come out. Information from the Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen recently revealed more about the company's role in the U.S. Capitol riots. An internal analysis by Facebook found the company's policies did not slow down or stop the Steal and Patriot Party movements.
According to the tech website The Verge, Facebook plans to announce a new name sometime this week. Since Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp, the move would position all three platforms under one brand. A company spokesperson says they're not commenting on the report, calling it rumor and speculation.
New this morning, the U.S. is deeply alarmed after reports of a military takeover in Sudan. That's according to a tweet by the State Department's African Bureau. Earlier, the Sudanese Ministry of Information had said Sudan's prime minister was under house arrest by military forces. The U.S. now urging that government to, quote, heed the expressed desires of the Sudanese people for democracy.
In Colombia this morning, the government is working to send the top drug lord to the U.S. for extradition. They caught drug lord Otenil during an operation in rural regions of the country Saturday. Otenil is accused of exporting hundreds of tons of drugs for years, as well as killing police officers and sexually abusing children. Today, Colombia will file a petition to have Otenil sent to the U.S. to face multiple charges.
6:06 now. Water damage to your home, even just a little bit, can cause big problems in the form of mold and mildew. As Consumer Reports explains, you have to act fast to protect your belongings.
It was like a water fountain, a huge water fountain. Within about 20 minutes, we had over 2 feet.
During a massive rain, Joan Orlowski's basement filled with sewer water that came up through the toilet, and that was just the start of the problem.
The weather was still warm, so within 24 hours, the mold just started growing everywhere.
How should you deal with mold after a flood? Larger rooms that have been soaked with water may need professional help with special drying machinery to ward off dangerous mold. But according to the EPA, you can usually deal with small mold outbreaks yourself using detergent, water, and some elbow grease to scrub surfaces. Follow these CR tips to help prevent mold after a flood. Clean up debris and dry out the room by opening windows and using fans. Then close the room and use dehumidifiers. Remove anything that's porous that's been soaked and can't be thoroughly cleaned and dried. This includes carpets, upholstery, drywall, or ceiling tiles. Clean surfaces with detergent and water. If detergent doesn't remove existing mold, use a bleach solution, 1 cup per gallon of water. Take pictures of damage and wet areas to show your insurance company.
Since COVID, insurance companies are not sending adjusters so often to sites, so it's really important to take photos of all the damage. Even small water spots on a wall or ceiling can develop into something much worse later on.
There's pieces in the furnace that if they get wet, then you've lost your furnace. They can't fix it.
If your heating or AC units have been submerged, do not turn them on. Water can carry debris, causing bacteria and mold to become embedded inside. Have a professional inspect and clean all components. Consumer Reports says if you try mold remediation yourself, the EPA recommends wearing long pants, sleeves, and gloves, along with goggles without vent holes, and ideally an N95 mask as well.
Coming up, it's a good morning for Packers fans, but a short week for them as they prepare for their biggest game of the year so far.
Plus, later, we are spotlighting National Women's Small Business Month with where you should pick up a sweet treat here in Madison.
Precision engineering, rigorous attention to detail. A Bryant Evolution heating system is so well designed, it's as much of a joy to install as it is to use.
Good to go.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
In the Fitchburg area, contact Tarkenton Brothers Heating, Ventilating, and Air Conditioning for quality comfort solutions.
It's time to find your next Chevy truck and forge ahead take on new challenges and take it to the next level. It's the perfect time to do more in your next Chevy. Find new possibilities, find new roads. Eligible customers get great offers from GM Financial Plus. No monthly payments for 120 days on all 2021 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab pickups and get $1,500 cash allowance. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
There's a different way to treat HIV. It's once monthly injectable Cabenuva. Cabenuva is the only once-a-month complete HIV treatment for adults who are undetectable.
Cabenuva helps keep me undetectable. It's 2 injections given by my healthcare provider once a month.
HIV pills aren't on my mind.
I love being able to pick up and go.
Don't receive Cabenuva if you're allergic to its ingredients or taking certain medicines which may interact with Cabenuva. Serious side effects include allergic reactions, post-injection reactions, liver problems, and depression. If you have a rash and other allergic reaction symptoms, stop Cabenuva and get medical help right away. Tell your doctor if you have liver problems or mental health concerns, and if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or considering pregnancy. Some of the most common side effects include injection site reactions, fever, and tiredness. If you switch to Cabenuva, attend all treatment appointments.
With once a month Cabenuva, I'm good to go.
Ask your doctor about once monthly Cabenuva.
At US Cellular, we know the local landscape, so we can help everyone stay connected for less.
And less also means more, as in more choice. While the other guys may limit your options, at US Cellular, you choose any phone and we make it free. That's right, visit our store and any phone you see is free. Plus, get unlimited data for $30 a month and get the most out of our state-of-the-art network, wherever you choose to go. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless.
He doesn't just talk.
Democrat Alex Lasry
Gets it done. Helped build Pfizer Forum on progressive values. Wages, $15 an hour. Materials, 80% from Wisconsin. Environmentally cutting edge.
Alex Lasry.
Leader on social justice. Proven activist for voting rights.
Alex Lasry.
The Democrats have beat Ron Johnson. It's why Alex Lasry is endorsed by Wisconsin's leading unions. For Senate, Alex Lasry.
I'm Alex Lasry, and I approve this message.
You're watching News 3 Now This Morning. Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television.
6:11, we're back. The Packers sitting atop the NFC North this morning with a pretty comfortable lead, but they'll only have 3 full days to prepare for the only undefeated team in the NFL. A win yesterday against Washington keeps their momentum going in the right direction, though. The highlights now. Tie game. We start things off in the second quarter. There we are. Aaron Rodgers and company looking to score. The retro jerseys, too, looking pretty good yesterday. There's a Rodgers to Aaron Lazard. That's one of 3 touchdowns on the afternoon for Rodgers. Second half, Washington moving the football easily, but Green Bay's defense, along with a few favorable breaks, would come up with some pretty big stops when it mattered most. Washington had more total yards, 6 more first downs, 1 time of possession, but ended up losing the game by 6 scores. 24-10 the final. Packers over the Washington football team. That is 5 straight now for the green and gold. Now it's on to Arizona.
You know, I told them we'll enjoy it, but you can't enjoy it too long because it's really like Wednesday in our world now. So you gotta turn the page pretty quickly. There's still a lot for us to improve upon moving forward, but it sure does feel good to be 6-1.
The Cardinals are coming off 2 blowout wins and are the hottest team in the NFL. Thursday's game will likely have some playoff implications. Green Bay is a 3.5-point underdog.
The Badger football team reviving themselves in the fight for the Big Ten West title. Saturday's victory over Purdue puts Wisconsin in 3rd place in the division. Minnesota and Iowa are still ahead of us, but those 2 teams are still left on our schedule. So if the Badgers beat Iowa on Saturday, kind of a big ask, they will need one other team to beat Iowa, then we'll yet again be in the driver's seat for the division title. Kickoff for that homecoming game on Saturday is 11 a.m.
Take a look at this. Heavy storms causing some crazy wind gusts and flash flooding in California this weekend. So listen closely. This is the Golden Gate Bridge, and you can hear that eerie whistling sound. That's the result of winds being blown right through the bridge. So flooding, also a huge problem. in that part of the state. The region needed some rain. They are in a drought right now, but they didn't need rain like this. That's not good news for them.
Quite a sight out there. Yeah. Also continuing coverage this morning, a judge granting a request from wildlife advocates blocking Wisconsin's fall wolf hunt. That's just 2 weeks before it was supposed to start. A Dane County Circuit judge issued the temporary injunction. Several groups had sued the DNR after hunters exceeded their kill limit by 100 wolves during the February season. Well, here's a reminder that it's nowhere near cold enough to go ice fishing. Check out these pictures from Barron County. The Sheriff's Department says that truck here and Shanty ended up in the water Saturday. Deputies say alcohol was a factor in the incident. They tweeted about this earlier, and they said, we didn't expect to have to tell people this, but just because the temperatures dropped below 30 and just because frost crept onto the water does not mean it's time for ice fishing. I've never seen anything like this early in the season. I know Chris Reese is waiting on some colder weather. It's funny because you mentioned earlier that if it was just 10 degrees colder today, this would be an enormous snow event with all the moisture. Yeah, all the moisture that we have around for sure. So give it maybe 10, even 15 degrees cooler, and we would have been talking some real deal accumulating snowfall around here. Now, that's, of course, not what we are dealing with by any means out there, but we do have the rain and multiple chances for it as we go throughout the week. So this morning is an absolute washout, but we'll start to see those rain chances decrease pretty quickly as we go throughout the day. But I'm already watching our next widespread potential washout chance of rain. That moves our direction as we go towards Thursday and into at least early parts of your Friday. It's really all about the timing, because if we can get this to happen while most of us are asleep, then that works out in favor of your plans. The reality is Thursday does not look that way as of now. This is the pattern ahead. This is Wednesday, overnight. Early in the morning, we'll start to see that system starting to work its way on in from the west. By Wednesday afternoon, we have the cloud cover, but we are still dry. It is not until we get you towards Thursday that we start to see that rain on top of us, and that likely lingers around throughout parts of Friday as well. So from Thursday all the way through Friday morning, I'm expecting that rainfall around here that'll clear out pretty quickly as we start to move into your Friday afternoon and evening. That'll be some good news as we start to move towards next weekend. We talk about rainfall amounts out of this one, and once again, we are talking that potential of 3/4 of an inch, upwards of an inch of rain right here in southern Wisconsin. It's beneficial, especially when you consider the fact that we've been in a drought, but then you have our leaves. They finally just look incredible here throughout southern Wisconsin, but this system is going to come with wind. The rain and the wind together brings down a lot of leaves. A lot of folks are going to be raking as we start to move towards next weekend. That being said, if you have outdoor plans, folks, Thursday and into Friday, now is that time to develop your game plan for the rain to come through. You need a backup plan in play for that rain. Traffic-wise, we are watching that for you because it's raining this morning, and I need everyone to work safely because we have water ponding on the roadways. Please give yourself some extra time. Thankfully, we're not tracking any issues this morning throughout Dane County, Rock County, Columbia County, even your Jefferson County is all in great shape this morning. So all of these areas that really have some of these longer commutes in Madison so far, so good. All right, Chris Reese, thanks for tracking it all for us this morning. My pleasure. 6:17 now. All month long, we are spotlighting Madison small business owners as part of National Women's Small Business Month. This morning, our Christina Laurie has a story of a local woman you wouldn't suspect would become a big-time baker.
Among the sea of inspirational sayings, there's this one. Balance is a cookie in each hand. And that's the backbone of Annie Hermanson's business.
Fitness isn't one size fits all. And every now and then you just need a cookie.
Annie is a personal trainer who also loves baking.
When I start with a new client and they hear that I own a cookie company, they kind of look at me and they're like, really? Like, you're messing with me, right? But yeah, you can totally make anything fit into your lifestyle.
So for the past year, she's created a lifestyle that allows her to do both, training clients by day and filling bakery orders by night. Annie started the Como Cookie Company last spring, and these aren't your average cookies. Each weighs about half a pound, packed with flavor, and sometimes other cookies too.
I will just go to any local grocery store and just wander up and down the aisles and like piece things together in my brain. I get a lot of weird looks for it because I'll be like in one aisle, and then I'll be back 3 minutes later, and then I'll come back a third time.
Annie rarely makes the same flavor twice, but recent combos include the Parent Trap, cookie dough with a peanut butter Oreo inside, and the Fallman Spice, a brown sugar cookie filled with pumpkin spice wafers and white chocolate chips. Just like her cookies, Annie has big plans for Como's future and her own.
That's like always been my dream since I was really little, is to just have my own bakery.
Next month, she'll get one step closer, moving into a bigger space inside Feed Kitchens, where she'll be able to offer brand new flavors every 2 weeks.
It's kind of like blending the two big loves that Madison has, like really novelty, interesting food and fitness.
Baking up balance. In Madison, Christina Laurie, News 3 Now.
So if you know of a small local business owner we should feature in this series, we'd love to hear from you. We'll continue to share these stories through the end of the month.
6:19 coming up in our next half hour. 190 people safely in Los Angeles this morning after their plane had to make an emergency landing in Madison yesterday. More on that at 6:30.
But first, dogs in costumes. What more do you need to hear? Stay with us.
With a nursing degree, helping others went from a job to a career.
Cobuson Buses, now hiring.
After we backed that bus out of its stall and started driving, I just loved it. We really get a chance to get to know each other. Almost everyone has a different story about how they came to bus driving, so you really end up feeling like you're part of a family.
Visit Cobuson.com to apply.
Dear Exit Strategy, all your pieces are in place. A tranquil lake, a serene sky, an emerald forest, a secret hideout. Thanks for being there, just when I need you most. Always Toyota SUVs.
Get 1.9% APR for 60 months on a new CHR, Sienna, RAV4, Venza, or Highlander. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Allergies don't have to be scary. Spraying Flonase daily stops your body from overreacting to allergens all season long. Psst, psst. Flonase, all good.
The holidays are doubly important this year, so make your celebrations doubly special with our award-winning cave-aged Maurice cheese. Pick and save. Hey, you're right, we can't stop now. Let's take the special up a level with fresh, never frozen prime beef. Still not special enough? Add some surf to that turf with our sustainably caught seafood. Turn your taste buds up to 11 and have a doubly special holiday with Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
It's the retirement you deserve with Physicians Mutual, where we help you understand Medicare so you're not in a fog. Flour? Oh, it's that cooking class you always wanted to take.
I love pizza.
And since you'll have the coverage you need, you can enjoy treasured moments with the grandkids like this.
Cool car. Can I ride?
Yeah, in about 50 years.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual. After my kids left for college, the house got a bit empty, so I'm like, I'm getting a dog. I find this great deal online for a scruffy little puppy, till they hit me with a huge delivery fee. Then I remembered a tip I got from the AARP Fraud Watch Network. Insane shipping costs? This is a pet scam. I'll keep looking.
Recognize fraud sooner, so your money lives longer. The younger you are, the more you need AARP.
Is your credit score getting in the way of the things you want to do? Personal loans through NetCredit offer fast and flexible lending. Borrow up to $10,000 and choose repayment terms that work for you. You may even be able to build your credit history as you repay. NetCredit, a more personal loan. Cobuson Buses, now hiring.
Working with Cobuson, it's definitely been great because of the flexibility. If you do need time off, they work around you. They definitely try to make it a company that's based for you.
Visit Cobuson.com to apply.
Welcome back. I had to share a special My Morning this morning because it's this handsome man's birthday. That's my dad, Zeke.
Well, happy birthday, Zeke.
Doesn't look a day over 42 if you ask me. Young looking man. Love of my life.
Look how happy he looks. He looks so happy.
Oh, I adore him. I've always been a daddy's girl. He's a wonderful man. Dad, I hope you spend all day fishing because I know that's all you want to do, even in the rain. As long as you don't get sick, go ahead. Go on out.
A bad day fishing is better than a good day at work, as they say, right?
Exactly. Love you, Dad. Happy birthday. Okay, 6:23 now. New York dogs got into the spooky spirit this weekend with the 31st annual Tompkins Square Halloween Dog Parade.
Pretty cute video. Hundreds of pups and their owners donned costumes ranging from Spider-Man to the Pope. They paraded around before a lot of spectators. The event started more than 3 decades ago as a fundraiser for the Tompkins Square Dog Run, and it's grown into what CNN calls the biggest Halloween costume contest for dogs in the world.
I could just watch this video forever. Look at this little guy.
And it's a Hellraiser from the horror movie from like the 80s or 90s.
The tongue really adds to the horror.
Yeah. I think it makes it cute.
Yeah,
Right?
less horrific.
Yeah, we were coming up with a costume for Leah's dog this morning. Tom Cruise from Risky Business. You put some white socks on, some tighty-whities, the sunglasses, and you're set.
Dogs in socks is just the most hilarious thing. Zach put socks on Bascom, and they just walk like they've never walked before.
New legs.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that video. That is the only costume I'd put my poor animal into.
All right, hit us with the bus stop forecast, Chris Reese.
We've got some rain showers as you were headed out the door this morning. Temperatures 44 degrees as you head towards the bus stop. We will stay to the 40s most of today, only really warming up to about 50 as we head into the afternoon. Now, looking ahead, and I want to show you the temperature trend as we start to flip that calendar into November. That 6 to 10 day outlook here in Madison, we are expecting equal chances of either above or below normal temperatures. Really, they'll be right around normal. But we start to get into that first full week of November, and we actually favor temperatures being colder than normal. In fact, that 10-day temperature trend, these are overnight lows. Our average overnight low is into the low 40s at this point, but we could see some of your overnight lows falling down into the 20s as we start to move towards early November. This goes all the way back towards the question that I asked you all last week when I said, do you think we will hit 70 degrees again? Do you think we're done with the 70s? You all voted, I counted, and I'm ready to give my answer and my input when we come back at 6:30.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Precision engineering, rigorous attention to detail. A Bryant Evolution heating system is so well designed, it's as much of a joy to install as it is to use.
Good to go.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
Breathe easy. Contact AirServe for quality AC repair. Finally, a heating and cooling company you can count on.
This month, all Cortec waterproof flooring is on sale at Surgenians. We offer the largest Cortec selection in Madison. Take advantage of unprecedented sale pricing with 18-month financing. Local, sustainable, Surgenians.
All right, here we go. Miller in motion. Wait, is that a baby on the field?
It looks like it, Craig.
And the defensive linemen are playing peekaboo. I've never seen anything like that before.
Harris now appears to be burping the baby.
That's a great moment right there.
Ref going to the rule book here.
Well, wait a minute. Harris is off to the races.
We don't need any more trick plays.
Touchdown!
But we could all use more ways to save.
Are you kidding me?
That's got to be a long bus ride home for the defense.
Switch to Geico for more ways to save.
When I heard about the science behind the new Sensodyne Repair and Protect with Deep Repair, I was super excited about it. It shows that the toothpaste goes deep inside the exposed dentin to help repair sensitive teeth. Life is just too short to miss out on simple things like drinking that cold cup of water or having a sip of hot coffee. I have the science to prove it. I can see that it works, and I feel confident recommending it to my patients. I'm really excited to recommend new Sensodyne Repair and Protect with Deep Repair.
At US Cellular, we know the local landscape, so we can help everyone stay connected for less.
And less also means more, as in more choice. While the other guys may limit your options, at US Cellular, you choose any phone and we make it free. That's right, visit our store and any phone you see is free. Plus, get unlimited data for $30 a month and get the most out of our state-of-the-art network, wherever you choose to go. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless.
Just outside of a town called Basic is Basic Lake, where families gather together for some basic fun. And if you have the 2021 Nissan Rogue with 5 drive modes, you can climb above Basic and find a trail where no one else goes. The 2021 Nissan Rogue. Anything but basic.
Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 13 models, or save up to $42.62 on select models.
The Dove Beauty Bar makes my skin feel fresh. I've encouraged Serena, my best friend, to switch. Feels moisturized and clean. My friend Stephanie, her skin was dry. I'm like, girl, you better get you some Dove.
She hooked me up.
With the Porter Moisturizing Cream, Dove cleans effectively and cares beautifully.
Right now, New York to Los Angeles, but a danger left a plane full of 190 people to emergency land at Dane County.
Revealing the answer. Last week, I asked you if you thought we were done with 70 degrees. You all voted, but I'm ready to give my own input. We're going to break it down, especially how things may look this winter when we come into weather.
I don't think it's out of the question.
I think it is. I think it's done with. This is Wisconsin. It's time for snow.
Chris Reese has been compiling a lot of data on this, and he'll have that answer for you coming up here in just a moment.
But first, our top story this morning. 190 people are safely in Los Angeles after their plane had to emergency land here in Madison.
American Airlines Flight 3 diverted to Dane County after smoke was discovered in the cabin and cockpit. The flight was en route from JFK in New York to Los Angeles.
Everyone who was on board is okay, though they were pretty shaken up. Talil Mohideen reports.
It's nothing I can do. Like, you're on a plane, so where can you run to? Like, you're just confined.
After spending the day with her mom in New York, Barina Wilder caught an American airline flight.
It's nobody's fault. Like, it's not their fault.
Headed back to her home state of California.
It is a very traumatizing experience.
Like many, she fell asleep on her flight. But instead of a crying baby, Wilder was woken up by a weird smell.
When I woke up, I saw the smoke. It was like coming like from the bottom of the plane. It was like about 2 rows ahead of me. So I panicked, I got scared, and I ran to the back.
Rushing to find a flight attendant.
I didn't know what was going on. I just set fire, to get their attention.
She says the flight's crew was quick to respond.
Everybody started getting nervous, and it was just really bad.
But then the lights went out.
I heard them say, 1 down. I'm in panic mode. I'm like, I got to get back to California.
The only thing on her mind,
I'm never going to see my children again,
was her 2 kids.
Thank God the plane landed safely.
And everyone on board. 190 people to be exact. Landing safely in Madison, Wisconsin.
Now, Wilder says she's thankful to have made it, but she also wishes American Airlines would have offered more support to those on board after the landing.
We did reach out to the airline for a comment, but haven't heard back. We did find a reply to someone who posted on Twitter. We did confirm that this person was on the plane that was diverted to Dane County. The airline says that safety will always be Americans' top concern. Our teams will take excellent care of you and have you on your way again as soon as we can.
Okay, Chris Stanford and I are split. Chris Reese has the answer. Will we see 70s again this year?
All right, we talked about it. I asked you all that question last week, and my big question overall is, do you think we are done with 70 after today? This was on October 20th. I asked you this on October 20th because that's the average last date that we see 70. So that being said, 45% of you said yes, we're done with 70. The majority of you over Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat think that we're not. Most of you think we'll see 70 again. I intentionally withheld my answer until this morning, and I think yes. I think we're done with 70, and the part of that is the fact that I'm expecting below normal temperatures as we start to move into the first week in November, perhaps leading us into mid-November as well. I'm always looking at the upper air pattern, and that's what I want to take a moment to show you. Watch the shots of colder air. They're really going to start to develop themselves in the northern part of Canada, and then essentially work their way south and eastward right here into the upper Midwest. There's a reason for seeing this kind of pattern, and to answer that reason, we got to take a look at the ocean, but not just any ocean. In particular, we've got to go all the way down to the Pacific Ocean. This right here, these are waters associated to normal. So your yellows are water that's warmer than normal. Your blues are water that's cooler than normal. When you see these cooler than normal waters in the equatorial Pacific, this, folks, is known as La Nina, and La Nina is a very big driver of the atmospheric pattern as we start to move into your winter. It displaces a lot of that that warmer water towards the northern part of the Pacific, ultimately shifting the jet stream further towards the north, where it takes a dip over the lower 48, allowing some cooler temperatures to work their way into our part of the country. Typically, this also means some wetter than normal temperatures throughout parts of the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. Now, the caveat is the fact that we've really been warmer than normal all year long. The Climate Prediction Center expects at least a small probability of that to persist through us as we go through December, January, and February. But at the same time, they're also highlighting the possibility of being wetter than normal. That doesn't always mean snowier than normal, but here's my bottom line. What I want you to take away is that we're going into a cooler pattern into mid-November. By the time we get you towards mid-November, your average temperatures are in the 40s and 20s. So if we're gonna hit 70 again, you need temperatures 20 to 30 degrees above average. And with the pattern we're moving into, that's just tough to really pull off. Here's the other thing I want you to take away. This is a double dip La Nina. That means last year was a La Nina, then we went neutral, now we're back into a La Nina. That is rare. It only happened 3 other times in history. Those were the winters of 74 and 75, 83 and 84, 08 and 09. And all 3 of these featured cold and snowy starts to winter, which leads me to this very bold statement that I want to leave you with. I'm expecting a snowfall trifecta. I'm thinking snow is either falling or on the ground for all 3 holidays to round out the year. I'm talking Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year. This is a very bold statement. I could very well be wrong here. There are no models that necessarily hint one direction or the other, but just doing the research, looking at history, looking at the atmospheric drivers, this could very well be a possibility.
It's a bold statement, Chris.
It's a very bold statement, and I don't know. I could very well be completely off. It could be sunny and 70s on all 3. But from what I've seen, this is a good possibility. In fact, those other 3 winters that I talked about, they all did this.
Okay, so we are going to check back in with you. We're going to hold you accountable after each holiday and see if it did indeed snow.
We will have to find out.
Chris Reese, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
You can stay on top of today's weather, tomorrow's weather, the holiday weather by downloading our Channel 3000 weather app. Just do a search for Channel 3000 weather in your app store.
Today, Kyle Rittenhouse will be in court. It's likely his last pretrial hearing before he goes on trial next week for shooting 3 people at last summer's protests. Today, Rittenhouse's attorneys are asking to use testimony from a use of force expert. Prosecutors will use today to ask the judge to block any references to 2 of the victims' criminal records. They'll also argue the 3 victims should not be referred to as rioters or looters in the courtroom.
The Dane County Sheriff's Office is no longer looking for a person it says stabbed a deputy Thursday night, but there's no new update on the investigation either. The DOJ told us over the weekend there's no longer a danger to the public, but they wouldn't say if anyone was arrested. The stabbing happened at Fesky Park, just outside of Cross Plains. The deputy who was stabbed later fired her weapon. She is recovering at home this morning.
A community in northern Wisconsin is mourning the loss of 2 people after a plane crash in Ashland County. The Ashland County Sheriff's Office says the single-engine plane crash killed a 29-year-old man and a 21-year-old woman, both from Marengo. The plane crashed into the deck of a home Saturday, just barely missing the entire house.
My wife and I were sitting in our living room. We had the TV on, probably attempting to doze off. I had planned to take a pedal bike ride, and all of a sudden we hear this boom, like a bomb going off.
Authorities have not released the names of the victims, and the investigation has been turned over to the NTSB and the FAA. In vaccine news this morning, an FDA advisory committee will vote tomorrow on whether to recommend an emergency authorization for Pfizer's vaccine for kids. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, thinks there is some good news coming.
It's entirely possible, if not very likely, that vaccines will be available for children from 5 to 11 within the first week or 2 of November.
If the FDA does recommend emergency authorization, the CDC would then hold its own vote next week. Pfizer reported its vaccine was more than 90% effective in preventing symptomatic COVID in kids 5 to 11. Children would need 2 doses to be fully protected. The amount is 1/3 of a regular dose. The White House is ready to ship 15 million vaccine doses for kids.
Afghanistan's economy is on the brink of collapse since the Taliban has taken control of that country. According to the United Nations, if urgent humanitarian assistance doesn't come soon, more than 1 million children will die from malnutrition. The Biden administration has already frozen $9 billion in assets. The U.S. says any future financial support depends on whether the Taliban can prove it's moderated since it was last in power. The Taliban, though, doesn't seem to be budging on how it will rule.
He says, on the one hand, they say 1 million children will die, but on the other, the U.S. are holding our money. The U.S. should release our money so we can save our children.
This month, world leaders promised $1.2 billion in aid to prevent a humanitarian catastrophe across Afghanistan.
Meanwhile, the White House is taking steps to resettle some 55,000 Afghan refugees. A new initiative would open up more places for them to go by working with nonprofits and even Airbnb. Officials say the program would provide a safe welcome to the allies who served alongside the U.S. in Afghanistan. A group in our community still working to help out the refugees at Fort McCoy. We first featured the Madison-based Sewing Machine Project last month when they started a fabric drive to get supplies to the fort. Nearly 2 months later, the group is preparing to load a U-Haul full of fabric to donate. Organizers say they've been expanding their outreach to church groups and have received an incredible amount of donations so far.
One morning I woke up and there were people from Minnesota and Milwaukee on my porch. The word just got out. And it seems like a lot of people have fabric that they'd love to give to a good cause.
The Sewing Machine Project is still accepting donations. They'll do so for a couple more weeks until November 5th. If you're interested in more information, we have a link up right now at channel3000.com.
6:40 on your rainy Monday. Chris Reese tracking the rain for your morning commute. Also the chances for rain later on in the week. Will it impact UW homecoming? We'll let you know.
Also ahead, a new purpose for an old school. See how your tax dollars are helping turn the building into affordable housing.
There's been much debate about the Mona Lisa smile. Would it have been bigger and brighter if she'd had good dental care? Maybe if Physicians Mutual Insurance Company had been around back then, it'd be a different story. She could have gone to the dentist more, knowing she'd have help paying the bills. And those regular checkups might have found early signs of tooth decay or gum disease, costly problems that could keep anyone from smiling. Physicians Mutual offers affordable coverage that can help pay for cleanings and unexpected or expensive procedures you might need, like crowns or dentures. This is real dental insurance, not just a discount plan or for checkups only. There are no deductibles, and there's no annual maximum. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. Call or go online today for a free information kit from Physicians Mutual. Get the dental care you need to help you stay healthy. For your free information kit with all the details, call us now or go to sendinfokit.com.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to completely resolve your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-914-7929. Don't declare bankruptcy. Don't consolidate. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. After all, we depend on your success and offer a guarantee so there's no risk to call. Credit Associates. Live better, debt-free. We'll even show you how to use your stimulus money to jumpstart our services and get you debt-free faster than you ever thought possible. Call Credit Associates now to see how much you could save for free. Call 1-800-914-7929.
I have worked at Huffcore for the last 36 years.
Huffcore closing the plant, moving production to Mexico.
I gave my life and my body to that place. Ron Johnson pushed through a tax law that rewards outsourcing. Companies can bring profits back from Mexico tax-free. And worse, Ron Johnson profited personally from outsourcing. He has doubled his wealth since taking office. Tell Ron Johnson to stop putting his profits above our jobs.
A student with special needs, not getting the one-on-one help she was promised in the classroom. Call for Action investigates whether a staffing shortage might be to blame and what one local college is doing to solve this statewide problem. Tonight on News 3 Now at 6. When it comes to weather, only one thing really matters. Accuracy.
Only one station can be the best.
News 3 Now. First Warn Weather has the most accurate forecast, according to Weather Rate.
Count on First Warn Weather for your most accurate forecast.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television.
Hi, I'm Cindy from South Wayne, and these are my grandkids.
Hey, Chris, plan our day.
Oh, that really was awesome. I love that. Well, good morning, guys. You are waking up to some rain showers out there. They'll be going by the wayside as we go throughout the day. So there's some good news for you. We're likely going to keep a lot of that cloud cover around, though, especially earlier on. Temperatures are going to struggle to get out of the 40s and when it comes to your afternoon highs. Here's that rainfall right now. We've been tracking a lot of that this morning. The heaviest rain has been around Janesville, but even that's starting to work its way on out of town. So now it's just lighter rain for you guys. We're still seeing some of those showers right here in Madison as well. Temperature-wise, we're at 45. Winds are sustained out of the north and northeast at 15 miles per hour, but it's generally 40s all across the board. We have a couple of cold spots though. Viroqua, you're at 38 degrees, 39 for our friends in Camp Douglas. It looks like Watertown, you're the winner for the warmest spot in our immediate viewing area at 46, but Fond du Lac has you beat, coming in at 50. Wind gusts are starting to subside right now. We've got some stronger wind gusts around the lakeshore. Milwaukee, 35 miles per hour. Monroe coming in at 32 miles per hour. We'll continue to see those winds subside as this storm system works its way on out of town. We warm up towards 49 to 50 as we go throughout today. We'll see more 50s as we go throughout the week as well. 55 tomorrow, 57 on Wednesday. Our next rainmaker, though, arrives Thursday into Friday. That's going to bring with it some cooler temperatures. By next week, it is possible that we see some days that start in the 20s where your afternoon highs barely get into the low 40s.
Still, though, sunny. That makes a difference.
It does make a difference, but I'm telling you, a sunny 43 is not the same thing as a cloudy and rainy 43. They feel totally different when it comes to that temperature.
I'll take it. You'll still catch me hiking.
Yep, go out and do it.
Chris Reese, thank you.
My pleasure.
6:45 now. A Madison mom is calling for action over how school staffing shortages might be impacting her daughter's education. Andrea Amos says her 15-year-old struggles from short and long-term memory loss. She's had an individual education program, or IEP, since kindergarten. That IEP stipulates she has to have an aide with her to help her with all of her core classes and help explain instructions. But Andrea says the school district told her they couldn't help provide that because of a staffing shortage.
My response to that was, well, the school district shouldn't have opened the school without all of the kids in mind. And then you cannot pick and choose which kid will get an education and which ones will not.
That has us looking at the statewide problem of staffing special ed departments and what's being done to solve it. You can catch that call for action tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
The state is helping two businessmen in Iowa County make sure a space known to many in the area lives on. Khalil Mohaldin joined them at a community open house over the weekend and shares how they're mixing the old with the new.
It looks like your typical elementary school.
Check it out. This used to be the old boys' bathroom. Oh. Here's the demo work.
But if you open any one of 11 doors, instead of a classroom, you'll find a one-bedroom apartment.
Come on in.
Is this yours?
This is mine, yes. Really?
Tina Amble was one of the first tenants to move in.
This was Mrs. O'Donnell's room. Second grade. Now, all three of my kids went to school here.
Outside her door, a ceiling tile painted by her daughter decades ago at school.
It actually feels very comforting. I love the nostalgic hallway.
The project is the brainchild of Sean Crook and his business partner, Rick Kurska.
They're incredible individuals. They took on a tremendous risk, financial risk, to do this. I think they've turned it into a beautiful facility.
An undertaking made easier by a Wisconsin Economic Development Grant.
That helped us offset a bunch of the costs on this building. We're looking at a $1 to $1.1 million upgrade to get this building up to code.
And it's not just affordable housing the remodel brings.
These people are the ones that keep the history of Arena alive.
It's also the new home, free of charge, of the Arena historians and Arena food pantry.
This could be an efficiency apartment. They could have turned this purely into cash, and that was never their intention.
And as for the old school gym, that's now the home of a new business.
They came to us with a need, and we were able to fill it.
All this to preserve a community fixture beloved by generations.
This was everybody's building.
In Arena, Tahlil Muhaddin, News 3 Now.
And they're changing up how the kids get to other schools now since this school building was closed. It closed a few years ago, so they are now being bused to Spring Green and schools in Plain.
6:49 now. Coming up in the morning sprint, new speed limits in parts of Madison go into effect today, where you're going to need to lift your foot off the gas.
First, though, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, let us know about it so we can show their picture on TV. We'll be right back.
Look Who's 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
When the leaves start to fall and the nights get cooler, you know it's sofa season. Steinhoffels has a sofa to fit every style and budget. A sofa for the big game, a sofa for catching up, a sofa for cuddling. During Steinhoffels' Falling Prices sale, every sofa, every bedroom, every dining room, and more, it's all on sale. Steinhoffels has the largest selection of in-stock furniture and all the best brands of mattresses. It's the Falling Prices sale, only at Steinhoffels and Steinhoffels.com.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
Come join the amazing team of compassionate caregivers at the one and only Attic Angel Community. Attic Angel Community of Madison is looking for skilled RNs and CNAs and offers shift differentials and on-demand pay, tuition reimbursement, wellness center, and much more. CNAs starting at $17 an hour. We also offer rewarding careers in housekeeping and food service. Apply online today at atticangel.org. Come join the one and only Attic Angel Community.
Here's to the guy with the tree in his kitchen who can't talk right now because his elderly neighbor needs help. Here's to the generator in the middle of the street with extension cords running to 4 different houses. Here's to the countless acts of kindness that helped the Midwest recover from one of the worst storms in recorded history. You've given a whole new meaning to the term silver lining. The worst brings out our best.
At U.S. Cellular, we know the local landscape, so we can help everyone stay connected for less. And less also means more, as in more choice. While the other guys may limit your options, at U.S. Cellular, you choose any phone and we make it free. That's right, visit our store and any phone you see is free. Plus, get unlimited data for $30 a month and get the most out of our state-of-the-art network, wherever you choose to go. U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless.
Precision engineering, rigorous attention to detail. A Bryant Evolution heating system is so well designed, it's as much of a joy to install as it is to use.
Good to go.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
In the Fitchburg area, contact Tarkenton Brothers Heating, Ventilating, and Air Conditioning for quality comfort solutions.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Welcome back. 6:52, time for the morning sprint.
A Dane County judge will hear oral arguments today in the GOP-led election probe. It comes after Attorney General Josh Kaul asked the court to intervene in the investigation. The case will deal with mostly subpoenas given out by former Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice and Special Councilman Michael Gableman. Call is representing the Wisconsin Elections Commission.
Kyle Rittenhouse will appear in court this morning in Kenosha. It is likely his last pretrial hearing before the trial begins November 1st. The attorneys will be making their cases to a judge to decide what can and can't be used as evidence. They'll also ask for specific language rules, like asking not to call the 3 victims Rittenhouse shot rioters or looters.
A wounded Kenosha County Sheriff's K-9 is getting a hero's welcome. Hundreds of people gathered at a Kenosha County park to welcome K-9 Riggs yesterday. Riggs was shot in the head during an investigation Thursday. Riggs' handler says the homecoming was emotional, calling the K-9 a member of his family. The person who shot Riggs is still in the hospital.
Starting over the weekend, if you're in Wisconsin, you'll need to use all 10 digits to dial a local number. That's the area code and the 7-digit phone number. The change affects landlines and cell phones and all 6 of the state's area codes.
An emergency landing at Dane County Regional yesterday. More than 100 passengers were on board the American Airlines flight that was headed to LA from New York. Smoke was discovered in the cockpit in the cabin. The airline has not commented on exactly what went wrong, but passengers who talked to said they were able to leave last night on a different airplane for LA.
Dr. Anthony Fauci telling ABC News COVID vaccines for kids between ages 5 and 11 will likely be available in the first half of November. FDA approval of Pfizer's dose application for kids could come as early as this week.
The Henry Viola Zoo is celebrating Halloween all month long. The zoo hosted a mascot parade over the weekend, joining with the zoo's Henry the Lion. The mascots paraded through the zoo, handing out candy to kids. The zoo usually does a one-day Boo at the Zoo event, but they're planning smaller events this year to slow the spread of coronavirus.
Tom Brady is adding more accolades to his name. Yesterday, he threw his 600th career passing touchdown. It happened in the first quarter of the Tampa Bay and Chicago game. His 9-yard toss to Mike Evans led him to be the first ever NFL player to pass for 600 touchdowns.
This week is the final round of speed reductions of the year for the Madison Vision Zero project. Today, the speed limit's going to go down on portions of Cottage Grove Road. That part is going to be from Drexel to Highway 51, down to 25 miles an hour there, and from Highway 51 to Flora will go down to 30 miles an hour.
The actor who played Gunther on Friends died yesterday morning after a 3-year battle with prostate cancer. James Michael Tyler was sometimes described as the 7th friend. The 59-year-old was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2018 and shared his story to encourage others to get screened. Tyler passed away at his home in Los Angeles on Sunday. Saturday Night Live is scrambling to find a musical guest after pop star Ed Sheeran tested positive for COVID. He's scheduled to be the guest on November 6th. The British singer says he'll do as many of his planned performances as possible virtually from home while he self-isolates. The 4-time Grammy winner has a new album coming out, by the way, on Friday.
Coming up on CBS Mornings, more from the candid conversation between former President Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen. They'll share the origin of their unlikely friendship and how Michelle Obama encouraged the relationship. That full interview coming up right after the break on CBS Mornings.
We're watching the last round of rain start to work its way on out of the picture. We've seen a heavier little pocket trying to develop just southwest of Madison, Verona. You're getting some steady rain that's coming down right now, but our rain chances continue to drop as we go throughout the morning, all the way down towards 0 by the time we get you towards your lunchtime. Here's the deal. We're going to keep a lot of that cloud cover around as we go throughout today. We'll see a couple rays of sun, but it's going to be a struggle to get those temperatures out of the 40s for your afternoon. So 49 is about as good as we get today. 50s throughout the rest of the week. More 40s early next week.
Thank you very much, Chris. Stay with us, folks. Another news and weather update coming up in about half an hour.